Okay, so here we are, the day after Christmas. As I mentioned yesterday, we were in the car most of the day. What I didn't explain is why 7 hours of driving is that big of a deal. So my husband is in a wheelchair, and his wheelchair has 2 wheels at the front, 2 wheels at the back, and then the 2 main wheels that bear the majority of the weight. So the ones in the front and the back are on swivels like casters, and it has shock absorbers, which allows him to, go over terrain and still have a little bit of give and take. So that's really good when he's like out motoring around in our cul-de-sac. But when he comes into the van, the underside of his chair has a little, it's like a latch mechanism. So on the floor of the passenger side in the van, he rolls his chair in, and then he has to line it up with a plate on the floor. And when he lines it up, it goes into a groove, and then it sort of catches it, kind of like think of Top Gun when the Tomcats get grabbed with the hook when they land on the aircraft carrier, kind of, sort of, but obviously he doesn't come in that kind of speed. So his chair is locked into position, and then of course we put a seatbelt on him, so he has a shoulder harness and a lap belt. But the chair itself, every single bump that we hit, his shock absorbers, engage. So I have to be super, super cautious about any kind of sudden movements, whether it's accelerating, decelerating, making turns, going over any kind of uneven terrain when I'm driving. So it's a different kind of driving than if I were driving by myself. You think about when you're out driving in the road, if you have to slam on your brakes, you have to slam on your brakes, but I can't do that when he's, his chair is there next to me, because it really sends him for an unexpected extra ride, if you will, because his chair is bouncing up and down and going back and forth, and it's hard on him because he's bouncing around a lot and he's not used to that, and it's hard on me because it's a lot of extra super caution. Like, if we were to get into an accident, I'm not quite sure how that would work, because like I said, his chair is locked in from the bottom, but the whole chair, can go like gyroscopic motion, and he's locked in going forward, but to go backwards, I'm not quite sure what would happen. Anyways, it's a different kind of, it's not just like going for a drive. But all that being said, it's a huge blessing that we even have this van, that the Veterans Administration was able to help us get, and then a couple of other nonprofits kicked in to help make up what the VA couldn't cover. So to be able to even have a way to transport him is an amazing gift. I try to get him out at least once or twice a week so he can get away from the house and see somebody other than me and his caregivers. So yesterday was a big day of traveling, and we got to go up to Pennsylvania and visit with my mom, which was great, and then drive home. So our 100+ pound crazy black big dog buddy, who makes his presence known on these videos periodically, he has massive separation anxiety. So when we come home, almost always, especially when we've been gone like that for a long time, he just doesn't know what to do with himself. And he always gets into some kind of trouble. Like yesterday, he got into a gift bag that I had left that somebody had brought by. And so as soon as I walked in the house, all of the, those little tissue things that people put into the gift bags to conceal the contents, well, every piece of tissue had been pulled out and was scattered all over the upstairs. The gift bag itself had been relocated from the counter onto his dog bed, and the contents had been inspected, but thankfully essentially left alone. He did peel the paper off of a loaf of nut bread, and I guess he took one nibble out of the end of it and decided it wasn't his cup of tea. So I just cut the end off and it was fine. So that was yesterday's coming home to. Well, today we had an opportunity to go and visit our youngest son. Now we drove a little bit over an hour northwest of us to pick him up and go to a coffee shop. And our oldest son, as a surprise, met us there. Now, the four of us, my husband and me and my two boys, we have not all been in the same place at the same time for almost 4 years. So it was kind of a big deal that we could get together and visit, especially at the holidays. It was just nice. So we spent a couple hours at the coffee shop just visiting and catching up. And so it was good to see my boys and just get a chance to talk to them. But then coming home, so again, that's a huge blessing and I'm very grateful for that. But coming home, I was driving from some place that I was unfamiliar with, and it was dark, and it was in the country and windy roads, and of course I've got Mel in his chair next to me, and so the winding roads, when you're going a certain speed, and it's a country road, and it's dark, and you don't know where the turns are, and some of them are graded properly for, 45 miles an hour, and some of them aren't. Anyways, so, a little over an hour and a half, I guess, to get home, just being cautious. So I come in the door, and sure enough, Buddy, Mr. Anxiety Dog, had gotten into another box that it's been sitting on a bench of items that I was packing as a gift for someone, just kind of collecting things up over a couple of days. And there wasn't anything in that box that would have interested your normal dog. And like I said, the box had been sitting there for weeks and he'd never touched it. Well, today he decided to, check it out. And one of the items in it was a bag, a little, like a mesh bag of, they're called dryer balls. So they're wool that has been felted into the shape of a ball, and you toss them in your dryer, so it reduces the drying time, reduces static cling, and you don't have to use those chemical-laden dryer sheets that cause my asthma to go like kerflooey. Anyways, he helped himself to that item that was in the box, and he managed to get the mesh bag. He managed somehow to get the drawstring open on the bag, remove the dryer balls, and like shred some of them. So they're like little fluffs of wool around. It was like, Baba. Excuse me. What is it? Mary had a little lamb. The fleece was white as snow. Well, the whitest snow was scattered about our living room, and it had not snowed. So that was a mess. And then I went into the dining room, and our wonderful hunting kitty had apparently gotten a bird. And so I spent, another half hour chasing feathers everywhere. Another thing to which I'm wildly allergic. So it's always something in our house. It's always, every day is full of excitement. So we had another day of driving and bouncing and cautiousness. So I imagine, tomorrow, last night I was so exhausted, but when I went to go to sleep, to lay down, of course, I'm wired because my brain was still turned on. Anyways, I got to work on that. So even though I went to bed early, I think I finally got to sleep at about midnight, and then I woke up at 1, and then I woke up at 2, and then 2:30, and then 4, and then 5:30, and then 6. So I didn't really get into a deep sleep until I think the last time I looked at the clock. I think it was 9 a.m., and then I fell deeply asleep and woke up like 2 hours later. It's like, we got to, then I had to do all the daily chores and get ready to head up north to visit our younger son. But I said all that to say that despite everything, it was a very blessed weekend full of family, some of whom we hadn't seen together for a long time. So I'm very grateful for that. And even though Buddy made a huge mess and the cat left a huge mess, all of our animals were well and happy to see us when we got home. So yeah, never a dull moment out here in the country in the Cannon household. And I hope that all y'all had a great day after Christmas. I guess in Canada and in the UK they call it Boxing Day, which when I was a kid I always thought, why do people fight the day after Christmas? But I guess it's packing things up or returning things. I don't know. We never did that. But anyways, I hope you all had a great day today and that you were able to still, you're still on speaking terms with all of your family members, some of whom you may not see very often. But just remember to be thankful for the little things and to relish the time that you have with people that you care about, even if they get on your nerves. And, my older son, at one point, when they first came to live with us, he was 7.5, and the younger one was almost 6 when they joined our family. But I remember one night, the older one, he had just gotten very irritated about something that one of us had done. It was probably me. And I said, well, you know, honey, that's just the way it is in families. I mean, we love each other, but you can't help but get on one another's nerves when you're living in close quarters. And you just kind of have to figure out how to deal with it and, you know, try again the next day. And I'm sorry if I got on your nerves, but, you know, I'm sure everybody gets on everybody's nerves at some point. So just roll with it, you know, just start every day fresh, and as the Bible says, morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand has provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto thee. Hymns run through my head all the time, so anyways, this is going much longer than I expected, but I just wanted to remind everybody to be thankful for the little things and to never take a moment for granted. Because, you know, time is the one thing that we all have a predefined amount of. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. So every day is filled with unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities. And at the end of the day, I always review in my head, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What can I do better tomorrow? But I hope you all have a restful night and a great day tomorrow. And you all just please take care of each other. Take care of yourself and take care of one another. God bless. And cut.